that's me. You know me. I'm here. I'm not sure what I'm doing today. All right, so welcome to the first layer. This is Ask for Help, your weekly show on where you can go to get help with your 3D printing issues, whether that be hardware, software, or filaments themselves. Today we've got a bunch of stuff on the table. I want to quickly talk about what's going on here, but first, before we do that, we have a number of people to say hello to. HVAC A to Z, welcome, sir. That's my friend Sergio. We got Tim Postma in the house. We got Teza, Guy the Jedi's here. Ben E. Brady, Non-Fam is here. Who else do we got? We got Joseph Jolly's here. Dominic Versetto is here. Hey, we got pretty much the whole. I didn't turn the music off. I just turned it down a little. That's all. Okay. Let's first get to Tim's question. He says, "What do you think of the new Prusa MK4 from other people's reviews? Is it just essentially another beefed up MK3, or does it just need more software development?" The problems I'm seeing with the MK4, I think it is a step forward for Prusa, definitely. I don't think it's necessarily a beefed up MK3. While it does share a lot of things in common with the Mark III, it does have some very significant differences. Now, they have been using the Mark IVs in their print farm for, I believe, the last year plus. So they would have had most all of the kinks worked out. Yeah, you're going to find the odd one that's not great, but I tend to look at it first, then I'll make my final determination on what it's going to be. And until I do that, I can't really say, but from what I've seen, everything looks amazing. So I'm happy with that. What's the current update on the PLA shortage? I have no idea. I don't know how to answer that question. Ben says, "I didn't know the first layer was so hip." Ben, you've known me for how many years? You know I'm hip. I'm hip to be square. That's what I am. I'm hip to be square. $1,300 for a Prusa Mark IV is ludicrous. Well, yes and no, but that's the way the industry is going now. So, in all honesty, it is what it is. Sorry, guys. Let's talk about some things that we have on the table. So, this week we got all of our stuff from Big Tree. It finally came in. What did they send us? This was all stuff that was supposed to go into this build. Unfortunately, it is not going into this build because we've got this build essentially done. Few more things have to be kind of worked out, but essentially this build is done. So I'm real happy where we're at. I've been printing some stuff. We're going to talk about that. But in here, what do we have? We have the CB1 version 2.2. We have two sets of 2209 steppers, the version 1.3. We have the BigTreeTech HDMI 5. We have the BigTreeTech EBB SB 2209 CAN board. That's what's in this one. And then, of course, we have the latest version of the Manta M8P, which we have a Manta M8P in here. The one that is here is the version 1.0. This is the 1.1. We're going to take all of this stuff and we are going to put it into the printer that I have that I inherited from Peter Reynolds. And that is going to go into do a complete overhaul and upgrade on his machine. We're also going to be putting in the Fadus hot end. This is the Fadus Dragon hot end, the high flow. This is the X Voron version. So we're going to be putting this hot end in with all of this stuff. And then the colors I've chosen, I'm using Polymaker, and let's talk quickly about Polymaker as soon as I toss this in the back here somewhere. Excuse me. All right. So the material I've chosen here, why did everything go dark? Oh, My monitor just went dark for whatever reason. That's weird. Hey, Snapshot, Shadell, welcome guys. DeWitt 3D Canada is here as well. Okay, so the colors that I've chosen to do the upgrade in, I've chosen light blue, and this is Polylite ABS, and I've chosen the regular blue as the colors that will go into the rebuild of the Voron 350 that I have on the floor. So this is going into making all of the parts. We're going to bring it up to a 2.4 R2 spec. We're going to put in some of the latest technology that is out there for the Vorons. We're going to be changing out the front idlers for it. So there's a lot of things that we're going to do and really put that thing together and get it working amazingly well. What am I going to do with that printer after it is finished and it's all up and running? Well, one of the things that I decided to do with it, and this is in the spirit of Peter, is that I am going to take whatever requests for printed parts that somebody needs, and I'm going to use Polymaker filament because Polymaker is a sponsor of our show now. They are sponsoring us with a bunch of filament that we're going to be going over in upcoming. My mic is muted. How is my mic muted? My mic is not muted. I don't know what you're seeing. My mic is just fine. So, yeah. I don't know what's going on. Matt German, how are you? Matt, it's good to see you again. Marcel, good to see you here as well. What else we got here? Tim says, remember some extra spare parts like extra tool heads. Yes, I will be remembering that. Audio is good, non-fam says. You're fine, DeWitt says. Audio is fine. Okay. Teza, I don't know why you thought I was muted. I wasn't. My wife says she can hear me fine, which is something she never says. Everybody say hello to Geraldine Ham in the comments today. But the reason one of the things that I decided, and I was discussing this with the lovely Geraldine Ham, is that anybody that wants parts for 3D printer build, 3D printed parts, I'm going to make them. I have select colors that I'm going to be using. Black, red, gold, and green will be the colors that I will be doing free Voron parts in. Until all that material is gone. Once that's all gone, if you'd like something, then we can discuss that. But for the first little while, once that is rebuilt, any parts that are made on it, anybody that needs parts made, we'll make parts for them at no charge except for shipping. If you're out of Canada or you're out of Calgary, unfortunately, I am going to have to charge shipping, but that's not bad if you're going to get a whole set of parts for your build. And we'll go right down to doing the skirts and the whole 9 yards. So the base color will be black, and then you have your choice of 3 accent colors being red, green, or gold. Okay? So that's what I wanted to cover, but this is what's going into that rebuild. I was going to put this down here. All right, so let's talk about the prints that we did today because nobody's asking questions. And I am going to bring this camera down. There we go. So I can see what we got going on here. Let's go to camera 1 to start off with. So what did I do? The first thing I did was, of course, the cube. Now the cube itself, while it came out okay, it wasn't great. Hey, there's RT, welcome RT. While the cube came out and it completed, it is dimensionally accurate, so I'm not overly upset about that, but the surface detail, it does need some, I have to do the pressure advance yet, but I am able to print with the printer the way that it is. Then I went ahead and did my favorite beaver, my beaver test. This is my favorite Canadian beaver. Now the filament I'm using here is PLA. This is the satin or silk. No, this is the silk. Let me just double check. I'll just double check what this is. This is satin gradient. So we're using satin gradient here, and there isn't much of a gradient in this, as you can tell. Like, it does change a little bit of color, but not much. So what didn't I like about this? And if I go over this camera, you should be able to see in detail what I'm talking about. So we can see the surface detail right here on the tail. Not that great. He does have a little bit of artifacting layer issues, and that's definitely a pressure advance issue, which I'll be addressing here fairly soon. So I've got pressure advance I still have to do. You can see the inconsistencies as I get some light on this on the cube. You can see that there's some artifacting there. There's a little bit of ghosting, not much, but there is some serious layer compression here that I definitely have to take care of. So, hey, there's Mark Baker. Welcome, Mark Baker. Nice to see you here again. So then last night, something I don't normally do, I did a benchy. And I got to tell you, I'm not disappointed in this benchy at all. I can actually see the text on the back of the benchy, which is something that I don't normally get to see on most prints. I'm a little close to the bed, so it's kind of hard to make out the writing on the bottom, but you can if you look at it right. But there are some definite pressure advanced issues that I have to take care of there. And then I ran this test. And this is the resonance test. And as I look at the resonance test, I can tell that there is a little bit of, not so much in the y-axis, but definitely in the x-axis, there's a little bit of ringing in the x-axis. So there's a little bit of ringing along here and a little bit of ringing along there. So I've got some work to do on the X, especially. I have an ADXL 345 hooked up. Now, the one thing I have the cable done as well. So I have the cable done. I've got the ADXL hooked up here in the back behind the tool head. It's kind of hard to show you because the cord only goes so far, but let's make sure that's plugged in. We are still turned on. No, we're turned off at the moment. But I'm having a few problems with that working correctly. So I have to work out those issues. Once I do, I can see the ADXL. It tells me that the ADXL is there, but when I try and do a resonance test, or I turn on the resonance test macros, it immediately freezes. So I have to figure out what's going on there, and I will. That's not a big problem. We're not going to get into that today because I want to talk about your problems and what you're printing. But am I happy where we're at on this build? Absolutely. We're going to be putting some side panels on. I've been working on all the clips. As a matter of fact, the printer behind me is working on clips right now. So let's have a look and see what's going on here in the chat. Teza says 6:11 a.m. here, had no sleep. Teza, I am so sorry. That's probably why you couldn't hear me. David Sell, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. So DeWitt and I are going to be together at the Calgary Maker Faire coming up on May 13th and 14th at the BMO Center here in Calgary. We're going to be there joined by Ben Eady. Ben Eady, for anybody who does not know, is a special effects and prop builder, prop master. Comms issue between the server and clipper. Could be. So we are going to be joined there, like I said, by my good friend Ben Eady, who worked on Ghostbusters Afterlife. I also got a chance to help him out with one of the props that you will see in the film. I got no credit for it, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I did help him out with the prop, and that was the main thing. Did you design the file for that Resonance test print? No, I did not. That is a file that you can download. Ben's asking, where did I get the beaver model? This is a MakerBot model from their animals collection, their cute little animals collection. I have the file if you want it, Ben. Just hit me up a little bit later and I'll send you the file. I already have it as an STL. But this model came with a stump around it. And the stump itself, I basically just got rid of the stump and just kept the beaver because they didn't want to print the whole thing. I just liked the beaver itself. I didn't need the stump. The stump basically hides the beaver, but I just like the model itself because I'm Canadian and there's nothing more Canadian than a beaver. It's Maker's Muse design. Oh, I did not know that Maker's Muse did these. But I do know that this is on the MakerBot, in the MakerBot files on Thingiverse, and I don't know who the original designer was. But yeah, it's on Thingiverse under the MakerBot files. Just go through all of their cute little animals. Dominic, will David and Greg from 3D Make It be joining you in Calgary? Dominic, I have no idea if David and Greg are coming up this year. They are not far from us. They're down in Lethbridge, which is just a couple of hours away. I do not know if they are coming. I have not heard. I did talk to them a little bit about it. Oh, the Resonance. Oh, the Resonance wall is his. Okay, sorry. But yeah, as far as that goes, I have no idea when and if they are coming. So I don't know. I talk to those guys very rarely, to be honest with you. I used to talk to them all the time, but I don't talk to them very often anymore. So it's kind of a tough one. But what else we got going on? We also have the Boston Dynamics, one of the Boston Dynamics robot dogs going to be showing up at our Maker Faire. And Joseph Prusa and his team from Prusa Research are going to be there, probably talking about the MK4. It'll be on display, I have no doubt. As well as they may be talking about their XL if they bring one along, and then their XL tool changer. So we're going to probably see the latest coming out of Prusa. We're going to do our best to get you some footage of that stuff. Hopefully get a chance to talk with Joe and his team, and maybe get a Mark IV here in the studio. We hope, both Tim and I hope that we can probably get one, or that we hope that we can get one from him and put it in our setup here. So that's possible. Nothing is impossible, but that's the major people that will be, so far that I know, that will be showing up. If I go over to, let me just get my mouse over here. There we go. If I go over to Calgary Maker Faire, there we go. We're just going to pull up who is in the Maker Faire this year, and we'll just have a look. We're going to meet the makers. I'm going to go over to this screen. I know it's blank at the moment. We'll get rid of that. Let's trash that. Yes, I know the screen's black at the moment. I apologize. And now I'm going to add a window capture. There we go. There we go. That's the one that we want. Okay. So there we go. There's my mouse. So here we've got Capstone Engineering. Lego BattleBots will be there. Generating electricity with garden soil. Puppet stuff. Of course, Tim, DeWitt 3D Canada will be there. 3D printing for beekeepers. Woolen handcrafts. Beakerhead will be there. Student Organization for Aerospace Research. The General Bean will be there. Makers Making Change. Of course, the First Layer will be there. Crafty Creations, integrate drones, 3D Cartesian designs, a lot of 3D printers. Calgary Rocketry would be there, introduction to DIY robots, Princess with power tools, learn to hand drill. Calgary 3D Printing Club will be there. I'm also still a member of the Calgary 3D Printing Club. Calgary Protospace. Who else do we have here? We have From Consumption to Creation 3D Modeling for your young learners. Alberta Tech Alliance Association. FRC Off-Season Tournament. Alberta Robot Combat. Stacy Brew Art and Illustration, as well as Mindfuel's Tech Futures Challenge Showcase. So some great makers going to be showing up this year to the Calgary Maker Faire. And look, now we're over here. Let's get off of that one. Let's get off of that one, shall we? Yes, we need to get off of that one. Let's go back to, who's that guy? Yeah, you know that guy. All right. Hey, there's the Poor Boy channel. Welcome, welcome, Jeff. He's hiding data. I'm never hiding data. CNC Kitchen sent a video yesterday about the Mark IV. Asked some interesting questions. Okay, that's cool. Question, when will you accept donations for you to buy 3D printers for the review? When will I accept donations? I don't really accept donations. The best way, if you want to support the show, Tim, the best way is to use the super chat down at the bottom. It's that little $sign in the chat section here. That's a super chat. And that's a great way to support the show, or become a member of our channel. Those are the two ways that you can become involved with helping us to raise money to get printers in here for review if we can't get them sent to us by a company. So that's really the only way. I have a PayPal set up, but I don't like using the PayPal for donations. I just don't. Maybe it's me. I don't know. I just don't like taking other people's hard-earned money for reviews. I know that's kind of counteractive to the way that this show works, but and I have taken people's money in the past to help get things done and make things here for certain projects, but usually it's project focused, and it's hard to keep track of when the money comes in for what. I know that the money that came in during my birthday live stream, all that money is going into getting the parts that I will need to do the upgrades on the Voron 350 that I inherited from my friend Peter Reynolds when he passed. And there's about $200 worth of stuff, $200 to $300 worth of stuff that I'm going to need to buy for that. But yeah, is Creality sending you a K1 Max? Not that I am aware of, unless they reach out to me. I don't know. I don't know. Don't worry, it's out of generosity. No, I understand that, Tim. It's just, I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I do this show not for the money. In all honesty, I don't do this show for the money. I do this so that I can help people that are having 3D printing problems. And most people know me that are on this channel. Hey, there's 3D Make It. Hey, folks, nice to see you. We were just talking about you earlier. Are you coming to Maker Faire? Are you having a booth at Maker Faire? We'd love to see you there. Come hang out with us and Joseph Prusa. So I don't know if that's Greg or David that's on the 3D Make It right now, but I hope that they'll come out. Echo Everywhere. Hello, everyone. Hello, Echo Everywhere. There's 3D HP. Jerry's here. I was on Jerry's show for a little while yesterday. Jerry every week at 3D HP has a roundtable on Saturday afternoons. And if you haven't subscribed to 3D HP yet, please go ahead and do so, as well as the Poor Boy channel. I'd also like you, if you haven't yet, to subscribe to 3D or DeWitt 3D Canada. These are all channels that we support here. 3D Make It as well. Oh, it's David. Okay. We do support our fellow creators. We also support those that are in our community. And if you haven't yet subscribed to any of those guys, please go ahead and do so. You're not going to hurt your viewership at all. You're going to actually help to get better content made. So, David, yes, are you guys coming to Maker Faire? I would love to know that. But yeah, as far as this show goes, this show is all about helping people and helping you get through your 3D printing problems, whether that be through hardware, software, or filaments. I use different filaments all the time. The reason that I went to build this guy originally was I had planned on this being my summer project, was so that I could test higher quality materials like copolyesters and things like that. And I was going to, in all honesty, I was just going to slowly piece it out. But when my good friend Peter became very sick and we found out that he was not going to be coming home from hospital, I decided to accelerate it. And I reached out to companies I have worked with in the past, some that I had not worked with in the past. And they were generous enough to make sure that I had all the parts that I needed to make this happen so that we could unveil it and put the final plaque on the front in honor of Peter. We have decided to name this thing the Reynolds Royce. And that will be the name of this printer going forward. So the Reynolds Royce is our purple and black Voron 300. I will get a serial for it, and Peter's name will be right on the front with a dedication plaque. I've got a bunch of stickers I have to put on the sides of this yet. So yeah, that's going to be a big part of it. So make it. We haven't fully decided yet. We have some scheduling stuff around those dates. Well, make it happen, man. You need to come out. You need to come see those people. There's going to be, we're expecting double what we had last year. Last year we had an attendance of about 10,000 people, I believe, came through there. And this year we're expecting to double that. Fantastic printer name. Actually, I didn't pick that. I opened it up on a chat, and John Bima actually came up with that, and I really liked it, and I think that it is a great name for this printer. So, Matt German says, Richard, can you put a good word for Prusa for me, please? And ask him if he can send me some spare parts for my Prusa Mini, LOL. I can ask. I can ask. I don't know what the overall answer is going to be, but I can ask. And it's always a joy to have you in my streams at Teza. Mikasa Sukasa. There we go. Can you send me the cost info for a table via text or Facebook? Actually, David, if you're not selling anything, your booth is 100% free. If you are selling something, a 10 by 10 booth will cost you $200. So, pretty simple. Haven't ever been on a live stream before, but you sound like a great guy. Well, thank you very much there, Octo Everywhere. I love that name, Octo Everywhere. Is that because you run Octoprint on all of your printers? Or are you part of the Octoprint team? I'd love to know. Tim Postma's question is, how do sign on a metal frame 3D printer or for art? Because quality can go for $100 alone as a starting auction price. I'm not sure what you're asking there. How do you sign on a metal frame 3D printer? Or for art? Because I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't. Only a sign, not much to sell. 3D Make It. So your booth will be free. If you're going out just to talk about 3D printing and talk about what 3D Make It is and what you guys do for education in schools, I don't think it's going to cost you anything. As a matter of fact, I know it's not going to cost you anything because makers get free tables, and it's your booth, it'll be a 10-foot by 10-foot booth. So there's lots of room for you to bring some of your printers down, bring some of your prints down, bring your banner, and I believe that there is electricity drops as well if you need electricity to run your printers. Just be aware that if you are bringing printers that if they're not an enclosed printer, they're going to have to be away from the front of your table, like at the back of your booth, so that little hands can't get into them. That's one of the things that we experienced last year. One of us will be there, Richard, or both. I'm so glad to hear it. I'm so glad to hear it. Money is tight for everyone, Matt. Yeah, money is tight. I agree. Like, my wife just started working again, and she starts actually this coming Monday. So tomorrow she starts her new job. We can't wait to get out of the red and back into the black again. We're just a little bit in the red right now, not so bad. Not so bad that we can't keep a roof over our head, but we are a little in the red, and we'll get out of that. That's not a big deal once she starts working again. So at Octo Everywhere, wait till you get to know him. He's a great guy. Thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate that. Clarification, how do I write on a metal frame? Yeah, a paint marker. HVAC A to Z. Sergio, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Hey, there's John Byman. We were just talking about him. Anybody else in here? Yeah, she starts tomorrow, she says. She starts tomorrow. First day on a new jobs are tough. Yeah, they are. They are. Ben says, that means you can eat at Tim Hortons again. I don't normally eat at Tim Hortons. I'm not a Tim Hortons guy. Surprisingly enough, I am not a Tim Hortons guy. I think my wife and I, all last year, I think we bought donuts maybe twice. And I think we've only bought donuts once this year. If we have bought donuts once this year, I don't think we have. But yeah, I'm not a Tim Hortons guy. I'm not. I do like, I hate to say it, but I do like my Wendy's Baconators. That's my bad hamburger of choice, is a Wendy's Baconator. And if I can't have that, then I normally have a McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese. I'm not sure what's going on here. He says, Shadell, do you have one of Golden Horseshoes hidden somewhere? Yeah, you seem to win a lot of stuff. Shadell, you seem to win a lot of stuff. Maybe it's because he's out on the East Coast and I'm nestled into the foothills of the mountains here. Yeah, we live right across the street from a Timmy's. You're right. And my next door neighbor manages the Timmy's that we live across the street from. So, yeah, and I got my next door neighbor into 3D printing a couple of years ago, and he loves it. He does all of his printing. It's kind of what he likes to do in the wintertime. John Byman says, small stack of Mickey D's cheeseburgers for me. How are we getting away from 3D printing? I have no idea. We're on the topic of food. You guys started it. Tim Postma says, I used to go through 120 bags of black tea a day. I still drink 10 or 20 bags a day. Wow. That's a lot of black tea. I'm a coffee guy. I like my coffee in the morning. If I don't have my coffee in the morning, I'm kind of grumpy. And my wife can attest to that. I'm kind of grumpy if I don't get my coffee in the morning. When she goes back to work, starting tomorrow, there won't be coffee Monday to Friday being made at breakfast. So I will have to get out my Star Wars coffee machine over there. And I will be making my own couple cups of coffee a day. So I usually only have, well, since she's been home, I've been having 3 big cups, but I'll be going back to 2 sort of normal cups now that she's going back to work. What's your thoughts on ASA versus ABS? Well, technically they're not much different, Jeff. Technically they are not much different. What really is the big difference between the two of them is one has UV protection, the other one does not. They both are built on a very similar chemical formula. ASA does not give you any more benefits other than that benefit of what do you call it there? Doesn't give you anything more than the benefit of the UV protection, I don't believe. I could be wrong, but 120 bags a week. Yeah, it's 120 bags a day. That would be crazy. Man, what black and purple looks. I do like the black and purple. And there's little shots of silver in here, or silvery gray, which I'm happy with. And this, yeah, this is, I like the color of this. I got to still hook up the front screen for clipper screen, but yeah. I make black tea from ground coffee beans. Oh, yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. I drink an orange Monster every morning. Wow, that's a lot of caffeine. Octo Everywhere, he says, we run a community-focused service that empowers the maker community with free, secure, and unlimited remote access to Octoprint and Clipper printers. We also added free AI failure detection. Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to talk to you more about that. You should check it out. We love to sponsor a video. Great. Yeah, I'm down. Just Octo Everywhere, please send me an email to richard@thefirstlayer.com. That is richard@thefirstlayer.com. And I will respond to your email. So send me an email. The butylene is not, Tim says, is not what's in ASA. So yeah, ABS, so you're missing the butylene. 3D Make, it says, love Octo Everywhere, works great. I'm an open book. What questions do you have? I don't have any questions yet until I know a little bit more about it. Then I will have tons of questions. But send me an email to richard@thefirstlayer.com, Octo Everywhere, and we will definitely talk more about your project, and we can work on a video together. I've got lots of videos that I'm working on for after Maker Faire. I wanted to get some done before Maker Faire, but this printer kind of took my priority. I really, really like how this is coming out. We've got the Hero Me Generation 7 we'll have on display at Maker Faire. We're going to have a video releasing after Maker Faire on that, on how to put it together. And then we're going to do another video where we install that onto my old Ender 3, and we're going to show you how to get some more life out of your old printers. We're going to do a little bit on that. We'll be talking about new materials, because we'll be using this guy to test all of our new materials on, our copolyesters, our nylons, our polycarbonates. We'll be doing all of that on this machine. This one has the Revo Voron hot end in it. It right now is sporting the 0.4 millimeter nozzle. We also have a 0.6 millimeter nozzle for it, so we'll be testing out both those nozzles as we go forward. We're going to put the Fadus into the rebuild. The rebuild will be a series of videos. It will not be live streams. I may cover some things live stream, but I think for the most part, it's going to be a series of short videos that we do on that. We're going to strip it down. I've talked to Tim from 3D or DeWitt 3D, and DeWitt is hopefully going to come out and we'll talk about stripping it down and putting it together, because Tim's done a lot of Vorons, so he's kind of my guy here that will be my go-to. Great, we'll send you an email. Great, thank you. How has your experience been with it? Hey, there's Maurice. Maurice, hello, sir. Hey, the first layer, he says. So we got about 20 minutes left. I hope you guys have some questions. Other than that, what do we got coming up? We're going to be showing off a bunch of new filaments coming up. That's a big thing. I've got a couple of cameras. I'm not putting cameras in permanently here because right now, until we get some things moved around, I have to work out my ADXL issue right now. I have to figure out what's going on there, and I'm sure I'm going to get the Hive Mind going on that one. And it does recognize the ADXL when it's plugged in, but for whatever reason, as soon as I enable to do the resonance testing, that's when I start getting failures. So I'm not sure. I don't think it's a wiring issue, but it could be. Who knows? I redid this loom a couple of times, so maybe I may have to do it another time. What else? Yeah, if you're not a member of our Discord yet, please click that link. That is an open link in our chat for you to become a member of our Discord. Our Discord is something that, again, is free to join. I'm there every day on the Discord. You can find me there every day. Sometimes I'm in the lounge. If I'm in the lounge, that's for all of us that are kind of working behind the scenes on the Discord. But if you see me in the Hangout or the live chat, that's a good way to come in and say hi. Poor Boy Challenge says, I did like you did on the heater bed. I had the wrong thermistor set. Oh, okay. Yeah. Clipper didn't let me know till today. Wow. That's why I was having adhesion issues. Okay. Do you have a Prusa? You have a Prusa Mark III, right? Yes, I do. Do you think upgrading to the Mark IV is worth the price? Tim and I have talked about this, and I don't honestly think that upgrading from the 3, in my case the 3S, to the 4, for the cost difference between that and buying the kit for the 4, which is, there's only a few $100 difference. I don't think honestly that it's worth that. I think I would just buy a 4, keep my 3S and just buy a 4. How do I record video with an ATEM Mini Pro if I buy one? OBS. Jerry, we can talk about that off screen. I will definitely help you with that. Channel Clipper is lazy. It would rather mock you for a week and then complain. Yeah. Yeah, Maurice, I'm kind of there. Yeah, I've got it on my Ender 3 with a 4.2.7 board. It took a little fiddling to get the Ender 3 screen working, but it's been pretty good so far, Ben says. Tezza, which MCU are you using? Raspberry Pi, Pico, IR, Arduino? Tezza, I am actually using the CB1, which is Raspberry Pi knockoff of their CM4. It is put out by BigTreeTech. It attaches directly to the Manta M8P board. So there's a little bit of configuration that has to go on there. And as I go into doing the rebuild, I will be doing a video on how all that works. I can't talk anymore. Snapchat says just got home. Nice. DeWitt says for the same price as upgrading from the 3S to the 4, you can get the new Creality K1. If the K1 is as good as they are saying it is, it's a better deal in my humble opinion. I'm not going to disagree with that, Tim. I think that's actually pretty spot on. The MK4 kit is almost all of the hardware, I think. I want to print my parts in ASA anyway, Maurice says. No, you do get all the printed parts as well with your MK4, unless you're buying the upgrade kit. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. Dominic says he's sticking with Marlin. Okay. I'm having issues with my webcam. How do you figure out the proper config for your cam in particular? What webcam are you using, Jeff? I'd like to know. What webcam are you using? Okay. Know nothing of CB4, but Arduino and Pico work fine. Yeah, the CB4 or the CB1 and the CM4. The CM4 is the compute module from Raspberry Pi. The CB1 is BigTreeTech's version of a compute module, a Raspberry Pi compute module. It doesn't work quite the same. There is a special version of Clipper firmware or Clipper software that you have to put on there. Jerry says, I found out yesterday after stream that my new printer, KDX Plus 3, doesn't have power loss recovery. Sucks, lost a print. Power out for 1 minute, was not plugged into my Cyber Power. Oh, that's something to know. Nothing wrong with Marlin, especially with 32-bit controllers. I agree. Upgrade, Word. Okay. I meant to ask, should I do a print while napping with the Lowellsbot or a Prusa? Yeah, you can take a nap. I have no problem I run prints overnight, and I have no problem, and it doesn't bother me. If it fails overnight, it fails overnight. I think in all the years I've been doing this, in the almost 8 years I've been doing this, I think that I've only had a couple of really dramatic failures. I can count all the dramatic failures I've had on one hand. I've never burned down a house. I've never started a fire. And I've had some pretty sketchy printers over the years. So I think you'd be fine if you went and had a nap. Tezza, yeah, use different pins for control. Okay. It's a cheap Logicam 1080p. I'm using a Logicam or Logitech cam. Mine is the C270, I believe. That's the one that's up here, the 270. And I had to make some changes in the Crow's Nest config file to let it know which frame rate and what resolution I wanted it to use. So you may have to go and do that. Jerry says he runs prints for weeks unattended. I think Jeff's running mainsail, if I'm not mistaken. David says he's got to bounce, but we're registered now. Richard, excellent. I can't wait to see you guys there again. It'll be a nice little reunion getting us all together. I appreciate that, man. You have a great day. Thanks for coming by the stream today. We're going to be wrapping up in about 10, 11 minutes here anyway, so. If you're worried about your printer starting a fire, you shouldn't have it in your house in the first place, Dominic says. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. My first printer was a Hicktop 3DP08. I would never, ever, ever buy another Hicktop as long as I live. I don't think they're a good printer. I think they're garbage. And at the end of the day, I think that I would never do it again. What am I going to do with all of the printers that I have here? As I will have 2 Vorons here in the studio. I am going to be probably sending back the Lulzbot Sidekick to Lulzbot. Just because I'm not going to have the room for it. To be, in all honesty, I'm not going to have the room for it. So that's probably going to go back to them. This one's going to go in its spot. And then I've used it. It's a fine printer. There's nothing wrong with it. But I don't use it enough. I think that this guy, the Prusa and the Creality CR10 that I have are going to be great for continuing to test filaments on as I go forward in my career with filaments.ca, and learn more about some of these other filaments from Polymaker. Polymaker, as I said, is now a sponsor of our show. They are official filament sponsor of our show, so we will be using a lot of their products moving forward. Filaments.ca is still a sponsor of this show just because I work for them. They don't really supply us with much. They will at some point be supplying us with another printer to do a review on. I have a printer review I still have to get out, the Artemis from FlashForge. That will be coming as well. So there's lots still to come after we get through Maker Faire. It's going to be a busy year moving forward. I did get in some lightweight PLA from Polymaker as well. I bought some of their white because I wanted to do the RC plane. I'm probably going to do the Piper Cub RC plane first, and then I'll probably do a P51. Those will be for next year's summer project. This year's summer project, I don't think we really have one. We're still kind of coming out of COVID. So we're not going to do a summer project this year, but next year, Tim and I are working on some stuff. So we will get some more stuff going there. John Byman says, I run 20+ hour prints even on my V-cores unattended. Nightmares about the ANET A8. I never owned an ANET A8, but yeah. Would you try the Ultimaker? Tim Postma says, I would if they sent me one. Yep. Yeah, sell printers to pay bills. I probably will be getting rid of a number of printers here over the next few months. So my house is full of printers again, and I need to get rid of some. Poor Boy says, when I set my frame rate and pixel count, it really starts to act stupid. Jeff, we can get on a call and I can kind of show you what I did on mine. We can get on a call after today's live stream, which is going to wrap up here in less than 10 minutes. So, Tim Postma says, and the Lulzbot Mini Taz workhorse reviews. I don't know. They haven't said yes or no to those, Tim, so I don't know if they're going to send out those printers for reviews or not. They've been around for a while, so I doubt that they're going to, unless they want to really push them again. I'm really kind of taken by doing Core XY. I like the quality of Core XY. This quality that I'm getting right now, while it's not horrible, it's not completely to my standard. But I will get it there. I do have some tuning. Then that's all part of the tuning. Once I get the tuning done, it will be there, and then I can put it up against the P1P and do some speed trials and some print trials against the P1P. Maurice says, Ultimaker uses 2.8 millimeter filament still. I think you can either get it in 2.8 or 1.75, I believe, for Ultimaker now. You have your choice of either or. If I remember right, you can get it in either or now. Yeah, Logitechs are limited on their bandwidth. So, yeah, let's, Jeff, you and I should get together on the Discord. You're part of the Discord, obviously. Let's get together on the Discord after today's show. and we'll walk through that, because I'll show you what I did on mine. It's easier for me to pull it up on that other printer. So again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We have 29 people watching and only 17 likes. What's the matter? We got to hit that like button, get that thing moving up. Last time I used Ultimaker, it was the original Plus. Yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah, Lowesbot will do both 1.75 and 2.85. 2.85, let's talk about that real quick. 2.85, the way the industry is going, I think is going to be extinct probably within the next 5 to 6 years, I would say. I'm going to give it 6 years tops. 2.85 is not widely available anymore. Some companies still make it, but you're finding it less and less online. And unless you're going to specific companies, chances are most everybody is making 1.75s, and companies are catching up to that. So I think that doing the upgrades or having a printer at 1.75 is probably the best that you can do for yourself. A 2.85 I think is still a little on the thick side. Again, you really get less material. You still get 1 kilogram of material, but I don't think it goes nearly as far on a 2.85 as it does on a 1.75. I could be wrong about that. Dominic Versetto says, a mediocre beaver is better than none at all. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. Too many commercial printers still use 2.85. Yeah, quite a few do. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Ultimaker S7 only supports 285, just checked. Okay, that's good to know. I have a printer, an Atom Stack Cambrian, that prints rubber and rubber filaments in 2.85, okay? But overall, I mean, generally 2.85, while it's still being made on that industrial side, it's not a lot being pushed on the consumer side. So anybody building a printer from scratch or upgrading a Creality or any of the other low-cost printers, hobbyist style printers, are all 1.75, and that's where a lot of the money is right now. When an industrial client buys 2.85, they're not buying 1 or 2 rolls, they're buying pallets. And they're buying it in 10 kilogram, 5 kilogram, 3 kilogram rolls. They're not buying 1 kilogram rolls, I can guarantee you that. All right, Tim, you have yourself a great day. Tim Postma saying goodbye. Have a great day, my friend, and get yourself some rest. Watch the YouTube video of a guy restoring one built out of wood. That would be an old MakerBot. I believe MakerBots were made out of wood, Jeff. I do believe they were made out of wood originally. I have a friend here in Calgary who has a wooden MakerBot, and it uses 2.85 as well. I don't know if he's changed it over, if he's even still 3D printing. Ben says, you have a 2.85 with a Titan Arrow? That has to be an upgrade. There's no way you did that. There's no way it came like that. Gary T, you came late. You're always an hour late, Gary. Also having a huge printer like Ivan Miranda's 2000 by 2000 printer, 2.85 makes a lot more sense. Yeah, you're not wrong about that, Maurice. I love Ivan Miranda. So anybody that has seen Ivan Miranda's YouTube channel, that guy is nuts. That's the kindest way I can put it. He's nuts. I love his stuff. He makes me laugh. He's got some great videos out. His tank. I saw the go-kart that he just built, the big printer that he built, and the even bigger printer that he's working on, the CNC, and just amazing stuff. I love watching Ivan Miranda's stuff. My wife and I both enjoy him. John says some old A-nets were made from wood. That could be. Gary T says, yeah, fighting with the printer at the office. Oh, well, stop fighting. Tell her she looks nice today and she'll do what you tell her. That's what happens here. Plexiglass, okay. You had one that was plexiglass, Snapshot says. Ah, okay. Ben says, yeah, he did do that upgrade. Yeah, if I need a good laugh, I go to Ivan's channel too. Yeah, Ivan's got some great content. Amazing, amazing stuff. I love his stuff. Spacers! Yes. Yeah. What do you need? You need spacers! Ivan Miranda is a hoot, that's for sure. Well, we're going to wrap things up here. It's 3 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for being a part of the show today. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be back again. I don't know if I'm going to be back on Tuesday night. I think I'm pretty much wrapping this up now over the next couple of days. We may do some final tuning on Tuesday night if I do a live stream. If not, I will be back Thursday night with a live stream. I'm getting really close to Maker Faire. We're only 3 weeks away now. And I've got a lot yet I have to do. And I have some projects I need to finish prior to that. So we will see you guys all again, at least, if nothing else, next Sunday for Ask for Help. And we'll do the wrap up. We'll show you all the stuff that we've done on this guy, and we'll show you some prints. I'm going to print some stuff throughout the week after I get some of the minor things done. And then we'll show you the final finished product, and then we'll do the unveiling at Maker Faire, and we'll put the final plaque on this thing at Maker Faire. So until I see you guys next time, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. And I love your smiling faces, and we'll see you all again next week. I'll let you know if I'm going to do a show on Tuesday. I'm still not sure yet. Well, we're going to find out. We'll see. We'll see. We're not sure.